What is up, Tampa Bay? Good evening. We are happy to be with y'all tonight. It is another episode of Living Tampa Live. It is Tampa Bay Q&A. Some of my favorite things to do with the community here. And welcome if you've never joined us before. We make videos that are all things Tampa Bay, what it's like to live here, what it's like to work here, what it's like to play here. I am joined by my hostess with the mostest, Miss Stacy Amon, up in Pasco County, Wesley Chapel to be specific. Good evening, Stacy.
Did you? Yeah, I say good evening, Whitney.
I was going to call you Wesley Chapel, apparently.
Good evening, everybody. Happy to be here tonight.
Absolutely. We're happy to be with you guys. Excited for the conversation this evening. If you're new to our live stream, man, we're excited to have you guys. The thing we want you to be aware of is we try to make this as interactive as possible. Okay. So the goal here this evening is not to turn this into a speech and make it something that isn't fun to do. We love hanging with the community here. And if you've got questions about Tampa Bay, if you got comments about Tampa Bay, hey, I went to this restaurant, we love this community, feel free to connect with us in the chat. We're going to cover the topics that we think that, that you've asked for, as a matter of fact. And we're going to kick off tonight with a very interesting story about Tampa's newest Agrihood. There are new developments that are being built that are a throwback, and we're going to get into some of that. But I want to say hello to everyone who is joining us on the live stream. What's up, Brian? It is a Tampa Tuesday, and it is a Taco Tuesday. So shout out to Mr. Cook, who's making their way down here. How exciting for you and your family. We got Jane in the house. She says hello, everyone. Thank you for the info, Stacy.
You're welcome, Jane.
She's taking a break from cleaning and packing and watching. We appreciate that. It is 4 p.m. on the West Coast. So shout out to San Diego time and to you, Miss Jane. Appreciate that. We got Desiree in the house this evening. Good evening, Desiree. Hopefully it's starting to warm up for you guys up there in upstate New York. Looking forward to it. Carol says hello. They're back in SoCal tonight. Good evening, Carol. Good to see you. Love this, that the community has gotten so tight that they start calling each other out. This is great.
I know. I love it. I love it.
It's fantastic. Jane, good to see you. Did you feel the earthquake yesterday? No earthquakes in Florida, y'all, just so you guys are knowing. This is our California contingent asking about earthquakes. We have our own set of natural disasters. We don't need to inherit anyone else's. Okay? That's pretty fair, right, Stacey?
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. Brian says hello from 52 degrees, dark and gray central. The weather was terrible here today, Brian. And that may be sarcasm. Maybe sarcasm. The weather was incredible today. But y'all, there's some interesting things happening here in Tampa Bay. Obviously, we've had a tremendous amount of growth over the last 5 years, and I don't think that's news to anyone, or it shouldn't be for sure. But a lot of things taking place in the area here, and I want to share some of that stuff with you guys because there is a long lost, currently being resurrected new development. Stacy, have you heard of this yet?
I briefly.
Okay. So and I'm going to share this with you guys right now, but there's a new development coming that actually has been resurrected. It dated back all the way to 2010. Talk about being before your time. Right? Talk about being before your time, but a long dead 1,200. And let me share this with you guys. So it is a long dead 1,200 home community in Hillsborough County wins key approval. Now, the renderings are here. We're going to get a little bit into this article tonight, which I think is pretty cool. But I want to say this is not going to be our first type of this development. This will actually be the second that I am aware of. But they were the first to go after this. And we'll get into the article a little bit here. But I think this is pretty exciting to kind of talk about what's happening here. This is going to be called University Energy Park. Okay, so that's the name of the development that is about to come. All right. And let's get into this a little bit. It says a long dormant plan to develop 3,000 acres in eastern Hillsborough County. And for those of you who don't know, Hillsborough County is where Tampa proper is located, has landed key approval, one that will allow developers to add 1,200 homes to the property. Hillsborough commissioners on Thursday voted 6-1 to approve a comprehensive plan amendment to make a way for the development of the Energy Industrial Park, which will be renamed Energy Innovation Park. Commissioner Donna Cameron Sapita cast the deciding vote. The property was previously home to a phosphate mining plant in it's in Dover between Valrico and Plant City. I want to show you where this is on the map. I think I always like giving context for this, Stacy, where things are. So let me jump over to Google Maps and kind of show you guys. We'll zoom out. Don't worry. I know it's just looking like a green piece, but this is the east side of Tampa. Okay, so as we zoom out here a little bit, you can see on the left side of the map, this is Tampa proper. All right, that would be downtown Tampa right there. And as you head east, you can sweep right across Highway 60, and that's where you're going to find this. Okay, so as you keep going east on Highway 60, it's in between. It's south of Highway 60 and east of Dover. So out in that area there, really, it's between Fishhawk, if you will, Valrico Fishhawk and Plant City. Kind of the way to think about it there. There's some really cool BMX bike trails and mountain biking trails out there. Out in the Alcalá State Park, where you can go horseback riding and do all kinds of stuff out there. Stacy, we've talked about that before, but I didn't pull that up. I'll do that while we're having this conversation, because I think it's kind of important to discuss. It's called Alcalá River State Park. And let me pop this up for y'all. It's a really cool place. I featured this one time, Stacy, when we were doing the videos out in Hawkstone, out in Lithia. And this isn't that far away. And I didn't know this even existed. But man, what a really cool spot to go hang out. You can camp out there. There's lodging, there's shopping. And like apparently people come in from all over the country to go mountain biking here. And I got to be honest with y'all. The reason that never registered for me when we were originally doing all this homework is like, you don't put the words mountain and Florida in the same sentence ever. Right? They do not. One of these things is not like the other. However, they were old phosphate mines out there. So there's all this different elevation and obstacles. And it's a great place to go ride a horse or do some BMX biking or mountain biking out there. Really, really cool state park. So check this out. I'll put this in the chat, and I'll put it in the resources later for everyone so they can just check this out at their own leisure. I think that's a good thing to do. Number one. But going back to our map over here, you guys can kind of get a sense for where everything is over on the east side of Tampa. So it's going to be about approximately 45 to 50 minutes outside of downtown Tampa proper is where this community is going to be. Traffic will depend on a lot of factors, right? If you have to go downtown. But one of the unique things about this community specifically, Stacey, that I want to discuss is what the intent is here. So the homes now approved for the property would be a residential Agrihood. Now, this is a very unique term, but this isn't the first time that I've seen this. And in this article, it talks about Angeline, which we just discussed. That's a master plan community up in Pasco County that is managed and developed by Metro Developments, which is the same company that does the lagoons. So that's the same company that built Epperson Lagoon, that built Murata Lagoon up in San Antonio, that built South Shore Bay in Waimama, that's building Sea Air down in Parrish, and also now building the one in Angeline. So that is an Agrihood also, meaning that there's this communal garden space that they're going to have in there. But this is pretty cool. There's going to be two, Stacey, is what they said. So talking about Angeline, which has a 2.5-acre residential farm. And Energy Innovation Park was first proposed in 2010 with plans to include renewable energy park that would generate electricity by burning garbage and wood products. Those plans fell victim to the Great Recession, and the current owners, an entity based in Fort Myers Beach, acquired the land in phases between 2010 and 2011. So they've been holding on to this thing for 13 years. Right. Wow. That's a long time to be holding on a property. Resiliency is a major focus of the current vision for the property, said Jake Krimmer, a partner at Stearns Weaver Miller in Tampa, who represents the developer. Krimmer compared the vision to Babcock Ranch. And we've talked about Babcock Ranch before. We haven't gone all in on that, but Babcock Ranch is a solar-powered master plan community in Southwest Florida, built to resist to be resilient to major hurricanes. And I haven't done a story on this, but I think I'm going to cover this as we roll into hurricane season, Stacy, because Babcock Ranch went through all those hurricanes basically unscathed.
Wow.
It's unbelievable. There's a whole story on it. It's not in our backyard. This is down all the way down near Cape Coral, but I'm considering taking a trip I want to see this with my own eyes and understand how this development was put together. But they really did really well on that. So they're taking their cues from Babcock Ranch. Now, this area here is nowhere near the coast, right? We're talking 40 miles from the interior of the bay and a good, 50 miles from the Gulf. Okay. So like we're a ways away, but I love anytime we're talking about these new style developments. One of the biggest complaints we get locally, Stacy, isn't it fair, is like when people do these developments, they get very anxious. The local residents get very anxious because they don't feel like enough other type of development is done, whether it's road systems, infrastructure, whatever it is. So when you see developments like this that are focusing on generating their own type of energy, right, have the ability to have some gardens. Now, y'all, I don't know what the output of this garden is going to be, or we don't know, right? But like, what a really cool community that's focused on, making sure it's taking care of the earth around it. Now, lots of questions regarding this. And we'll see as it starts to kick up. I'll get out there and get you guys some content on it. But I wanted to share this with you because, one of the things that's happening here in Tampa Bay, even though our market has shifted and Florida doesn't, it's not moving 500,000 people here every year now. We're down to a regular amount of transplants, which will still make us net positive, but we're no longer in the phase of everybody and their brothers moving here. People are starting to ask, will there still be investments? Will there still be these new developments taking place? And this is another clear indicator that people still want to invest in Tampa Bay, and they're still looking at moving forward with these projects. I mean, these guys have been holding on to this land for 13 years, right? And you wouldn't fight to get it going if it wasn't viable.
Now, isn't it crazy how far out they purchase the land and how long it takes for them to start developing it? Because I feel like Avalon Park was the same way.
Mm-hmm.
And Epperson, they bought that like decades ago.
Yep. Long time. So I think we're spoiled, right? We're really blessed to have a lot of options for home buyers and residents. There really is lifestyle opportunities for just about everybody, every walk of life. And like, it's something that is very unique because, where I moved from Michigan, we were building houses all the way in the far stretch suburbs. That was it. You couldn't get any new construction near downtown. If you bought a new construction condo in downtown Detroit, it was astronomical in price, right? And that's Detroit. That was not Tampa. It was not Sunshineville, right? Like, it was a whole nother world. So like, seeing things like this, it's always got me excited. And again, there's pros and cons to every new development, right? And I understand that as well. But what I'll say is I appreciate the fact that people still are long on their bet on Tampa, right? And developers are going to put their money where their mouth is, right? And they're not going to, they've been sitting on this thing through like the Great Recession and have decided that now is the time to start investing in this project. So I love that. And again, it gives me more confidence about the future of the area. We see it, but we live it. And I always am afraid that we can have bias, even though we read the data all the time, Stacy. But it's just great to see new developments and new projects like this taking off, breaking ground and making things happen. So pretty excited about that, y'all. What do you think? Let us know what you guys think in the chat. Or are you excited to see those types of developments, go live? If you're local, does it make you anxious? I know there's a lot of different things going on right now. So I just wanted to ask the question of everybody and see what's going on in your world. Stacy, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think it's really interesting that you brought this up because over the last several weeks, I've been wondering about, because I've been hearing a lot of builders are going out that way, like grand openings. D.R. Horton has a community going out in that Plant City area. Taylor Morrison's going out there. And I mean, I haven't been out. I've been to Plant City for soccer games. That's where they usually have like the big tournament at the end of the season, and then
Yep.
for the Strawberry Festival. So there's not really a whole lot out there. So I'm really curious as to, I was thinking something must be going on if these builders are going to build out there. And then here you brought this up. And it's like, yep, they knew something was up.
Well, there's a lot going on over on the east side of Tampa. You know, you guys may or may not be aware. The other thing that has started up too, Stacy, is the Gasworx development, which we've covered before and at length, and I think we need to revisit this. The Gasworx development just broke ground, right? So it's been 2 years since developers broke ground on this massive project. Developers broke ground on Gasworx project a little over 2 years ago. Construction is underway on the ambitious project to revitalize Ybor City that reconnects parts of downtown. So they are after it right now. The development, which spans 6 million square feet, is being built between Ybor City and the Channel District. I'll show you where that is on the map here shortly. It's a venture between Kettler and Darrell Shaw. We spoke to Graham Teller, and let me just show you guys what's going on here. But they explain this. He says they explain the current phase will bring 1,250 residential units, 100,000 square feet of office space, and 105,000 square feet of retail space to go along with this. It's a welcome change for many businesses in Ybor. This is exactly what we need, says Felicia Sejas with Ybor City Tap House. She said she owns Ybor City Tap House and has been in the neighborhood, has seen the neighborhood undergo many changes over the past decade. Sejas is hopeful that Gasworx will bring fresh energy and new customers. I think it's connecting several districts together and is going to bring more and more people, which is good for the local and small businesses in the area. And I agree. And if you guys haven't seen this yet, let me pull up the renderings on this bad boy on Gasworx District. But this is going to be connecting Ybor City and downtown area on the Channel Side area. And this is mixed use, residential. It's one of those live-in type of things where like you're supposed to live and work and play and do all the things down there. And y'all, the real estate values in Ybor City have been going up since this project was announced almost 3 years ago. Like I said, they broke ground 2 years ago. The city has been working towards fixing the infrastructure. Tampa's been doing a good job. They were ahead of schedule last that I had checked on that for the roads and all of the things that need to get done in order to start building these developments. But man, this is some pretty exciting stuff, right? So it's going to be Tampa's newest and oldest neighborhood in historic Ybor City. And you can see some of the renderings here of what the intent is to look like. And Ybor is a really cool spot if you guys are able to go down there. It is where the kids go and get wild at night. I don't take my family down out of there after dark. And, you know, that could be me just being biased, but there's no reason for me and my family to be down there after that. But going down during the day is awesome. Going down the farmer's market on Saturday is awesome. It's definitely worth visiting. But, man, I'm excited to see what this is going to turn into. You know, this development here is got a lot of people excited here in Tampa. You know, and just phase one, you know, reconnecting. And now you can kind of see the view here. This is Ybor City to the northeast. And what you're doing is you're looking towards the southwest to downtown Tampa here. That's the skyline of Tampa in the background. I'll circle that so you guys can get a sense of what's going on there. But this is going to be great. Shopping, dining. I love stuff like this. And especially over there on that Channel Side district, Stacy, where all you have to do is hop on the streetcar and it's a 3-minute ride. Mm-hmm. So you ride past all the cruise ships, the Norwegian cruise liners, and Margaritaville goes out of there, I think, right in Channel Side. But let me pull that up on the map really quick so we can kind of get some context of where we're talking about here. So as we come into downtown Tampa, you can see this is Tampa Bay. As you come up into here, you're coming up into Channel Side as you go around. And this development here is going to really go from this area up here in historic Ybor. Oh, I didn't grab it. My bad, y'all. What's happening? Can't find my map pointer. But it's going to go from this Ybor district here down to Channel Side. So lots of cool stuff happening there. Really, really cool stuff. We're excited for it. These projects are awesome. Let me jump out and say hi to everyone who has joined us late. Let us know where you're watching from, guys. Happy to connect with each and every one of you. If you got questions, please feel free to put those in the chat. We will get to as many questions as we possibly can tonight. Stacy loves answering those in real time. Big fan of that. Backing up here, Desiree says we're supposed to get more snow. Yes, she read that. Oh, I won't tell you that it was 80 degrees and sunny for the last 2 weeks. I won't say
It's been
that.
really beautiful.
Yeah, it has been
Yeah.
phenomenal. No humidity. It's just been glorious. Glorious. I love this. Jane asks, is this residential living from farm to table community? There's a lot more details that need to come out, Jane, before I can start telling you, but there's definitely going to be a part of that in that community. I don't know if there's going to be enough to support that entire 1,200 households and 2 gardens. I don't really think works out, but like, let's be real, Stacy. How many people are actually going to go eat food out of the garden? It's one of those things. I know some people will do it all the time, and other people will. It'll be like the community pool where they're like, "Yeah, it's cool. I show my friends when they come, but I don't ever go down there."
Yeah.
Right.
I don't
So
know. Like Micheline has a whole. They have a little cafe there. So.
Yep.
You know.
Yep. Understood. Danielle, good to see you. It was great to meet you and your significant other this past weekend. She says, happy Tampa Taco Tuesday. That's a mouthful, by the way. Just booked our scouting mission for May.
Yes, and I got you on the calendar, Danielle. Thank you for letting me know that too.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's great. Tim, shout out to Tim. He says Babcock Ranch is class act. Dude, I really want to go see this. I'm excited to go see this development. And more importantly, knowing what they went through last year. And like Stacy, like it was amazing watching the story of this. And there's a lot of really good things that are happening down there. So I love seeing that type of development. The homes were great. They were all in great condition after the storm. Very little had happened to their community overall because of the way that they've developed it. It's fascinating. It's right on the water too, guys. So that is really, really cool the way it's set up. Jane says, love this because it's not so crowded and more rooms, especially this farm. That's why we are moving to Land O'Lakes, because we are tired of living in the city. There you go. Yep. Can understand. Keith is with us tonight. He says, nice. Hello. Good evening, Keith. He said, yes, that is exciting. Happy for that. Kiara, good evening.
Hi, Kiara. And her little one is the cutest.
That's awesome.
Her daughter is so cute.
Yeah. Love it. That's fantastic. Corey H is watching from Knoxville, Tennessee. Good evening, sir. Love that. It's another area that's growing like crazy as well. He knows all about the people moving into the area. Brian says, when does the humidity ramp up down there in Tampa? We've had a couple days. That's very normal though. Like during the winter and the spring, we'll get some stretches, usually 1 or 2 days where the humidity kind of creeps in. We haven't had a whole lot of rain. So that's been part of it, which thank the Lord, because our house is not completed yet. We are working through that diligently. But it's coming. Coming soon is the term we use in real estate, right? And it's going to be coming soon weather-wise too. I think we're supposed to be like mid-80s all the next 10 days, something like that, which is nice. Yeah. All I know is tomorrow is I'm going to the beach again because the weather is awesome. That Kate and the kids were out on the boat today, not our boat. Let me take a step back. Don't make it. Don't make a sound. Yeah. Like we have a boat because we don't. We are entertaining joining Freedom Boat Club, which is exciting because we're. I don't want to get out of the bag. Let's not do that. Well, I can't. I hate sitting on.
No, yeah, it has to be a surprise.
Okay. All right. I've been told by one of my bosses that I'm not allowed to share that with you. So, but anyways, we went with friends who travel a lot. They spend a lot of time all over. They own an online business and they do really well. And they took the Kate and the kids out on the boat. I was working today slaving over your videos, just so you guys know. Cry for Me, Cry Me a River. I know this is the world's smallest violin playing in the background. Meanwhile, they were out hunting for dolphins today, Stacy. And
did they find any?
Of course they did. And as soon as I got back, Kate says to me, and I was waiting for this text because I knew it was coming. As soon as she told me what they were doing, I was like, they're going to ask me for a boat when they get home. I already know it. What did it say? Freedom Boat Club. That's awesome. We just got home. Your kids now want a boat. And then she sent me the video of the dolphins jumping across the lake in the back. Y'all, it's cool. It never gets old, right? It never gets old. And it feels so good. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so awesome to see that. So exciting. I was really excited for the family. And I know the kids were going bananas. I wish I would have been there, but they were having a good time nonetheless. Maddox, good afternoon. says hello from Arizona. What we got? Mr. Kevin's in the house. Good evening, sir. Appreciate that. CK says, how do you ask a question in the Q&A? Just drop a question in here, bud. Or ma'am. We'll get to that when we'll try to track them all down. I always try to make sure we get to all of them. As long as it's a legitimate question, we don't have any problem answering them. Good evening, Rachel. She says, hi all. See you at the end of
Hi,
April.
Rachel. Yep. I'm excited for her trip too.
Has anybody noticed how the live stream has turned into Stacy's fan club? I love it. I
got my crew. They're coming down. I'm so excited for them.
Fantastic. This is the time of year, y'all. Like everybody comes from March through like July. That's when most of our clients travel here, and they start considering that. If you are considering making a relocation, or if you have questions, y'all, this is what we do. We jump on Zoom. We'll answer your questions, help you understand what communities match your ideal lifestyle. And then you guys can come and kick tires and live like a local and try to figure out what works for you. And then Stacy or the team will help you execute. That's what we're here to do. So don't hesitate to reach out about that. Okay. If you guys need help anywhere, we can help you with that. CK says, do you just talk about Tampa or more parts of Florida? I was thinking about moving to Miami. Great question, CK. CK, we only speak to the things that we are either learning about in the community or that we know. If you're looking for Miami specific or Orlando or Jacksonville or Cape Coral or anywhere else in the state, I'm happy to connect you with people that can help you execute on that dream, because we have referral partners all over the state. As a matter of fact, all over the country, because our clients move everywhere. And we do have people that come and say, hey, we think we'd like Tampa, and they end up in Orlando or wherever. That does happen. It's not very often, but it does happen. So we've made a lot of connections, and I'm happy to connect you to those people. Just shoot us a message, man. All my contact info is on the screen or in the description down below. So don't hesitate to reach out about that. Okay. Mrs. Cook, she says, Brian starts his new job as a tennis pro outdoors in June in Sarasota. He's going to be toast in the heat, isn't he? My brother will probably be able to, here's what I'll say. You're going to be able to afford more tacos every week. From a caloric perspective. You're gonna be, there's a lot of sweating going on, man. So like, what I always say is like, I'm not trying to lose weight so I can look better. I mean, obviously that's awesome, but I'm just trying to make sure I can maintain. So if I can have some more ice cream and some more tacos, I'll do it. Just let me know. All right. So yeah, it's gonna be an indoctrination is the way I would put it. You're outside working as a tennis pro in Florida heat in the summer. After that, Brian's gonna be prepared for anything.
I'm sure he's gonna have some pretty early morning.
For sure.
Most of the time they're not out there in the mid-afternoon.
Yep. He says 80s and 60s at night. Yes, nice weather for the week. Absolutely. We've got a hello from Long Island. I'm envious of your weather right now. Enjoy the beach. We absolutely will. Welder, pleasure to make your acquaintance, by the way. We have had a lot of people reach out from Long Island over the last 4 years. It's been crazy, right? Nice.
Thanks, Abby.
Well, I love it. Well, if you guys just want, we can set it up to where she shows up every Tuesday. It works for me. That's fantastic.
I would be nearly as entertaining, Juan.
Oh, come on now. Come on. All right. What do we got? Wade, good evening, sir. He says, is there any room for new developments in southern Wesley Chapel, Land O'Lakes off the exit? I love that area driving around, and love new construction benefits, but worried that I missed no, you didn't miss the boat. The southwest side, not as much, right, Stacey? I don't think there's hardly anything left to develop over there. It's all out towards Zephyr Hills on the southern side of Wesley Chapel. But that corner over there, that Land O'Lakes, Lutz, Wesley Chapel corner, there's still lots of space in between the premium outlets and Bexley. Like there's still.
Yeah. But I think he really likes Seven Oaks, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
Really likes that whole established look, that whole community. I was trying to think what else would be similar over there. I don't know. I'll have to dig into that a little bit more.
Bellagio.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just once you pass over, 75. It's just the traffic gets more hectic over there.
Yep.
So it's better to be on the other side. But yeah, I'll have to look into that for you, Wade.
Awesome. She's on it. You know the deal.
Mm-hmm.
You know the deal. Stacy's the best. So glad we met him in Wesley Chapel. I love it. It's almost like you guys are on the payroll.
I'm so excited for Carol and Jason because they came down community shopping and they were not sold yet that, Florida was going to be it. But they spent, a week here? And yeah, I think they're going back home to list their house. So
it's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's fantastic. Love it. All right. Brian says, I love you, Stacy, but I live in a household full of female ones. I got one. But I'll put a tip in the jar for you, my friend. You get an extra taco for sure when I see you. There's no doubt about it. I got you tacos. All right. CK says, is Tampa a very populated city? 3.3 million in Tampa Bay area. I think it's only 400,000 in Tampa proper. But I mean, what do we always describe it as, Stacey? It's a small, big city.
Yeah.
That's the best way to describe it. It's not a big, little city. It's a small, big city. It's probably the best. It's arguable, I'm sure, but definitely the way that we kind of think through it makes a lot of sense to me. All right. Wade says, yeah, love Seven Oaks. Drove through while quick weekend and just in awe. It's even better in person. Thank you. You're welcome, dude. Of course. She's going to take care of you. So we got that. Jane says, oh no, please don't let Land O'Lakes be crowded. It's not, especially where you are. All right. So you definitely got a little room to run out there, Jane. I think you'll be okay. All right. Corey says, in Pinellas County calls for mandatory evacuation. Are you required to leave, even if you are not in a flood zone? Dude, that's a really good question. And we got comments on Instagram I'm going to get to here in a second as well. Y'all finally got Instagram up and running. It's been forever. Corey, mandatory evacuations are just that. They're mandatory. However, they're not going to come rip you out of your house is the best way to describe it. But what will happen is if they call a mandatory evacuation and you need rescue, they will not come try to save you until the storm has passed. So that's the challenge of not adhering to the rules. And that's why it can be so dangerous. Mm-hmm. And just going through that, those last round of storms, there were people that definitely should have got out that didn't. And, not a pleasant place to be to try to get through the night, to say the least, because storms tend to always come in the evening. They never come in the middle of the day, right? Type of situation. It's always dark afterwards. But it's not, it's a mandatory evacuation when they call them. But they're not going to come get you out of your house. It's not like a sheriff's going to show up if you don't leave, but they will not attempt to rescue you until it's safe to do so. So that's the big thing to understand. So adhere to it is what I would say. I know there's a lot of people here that don't ever leave. Marcia and Steven are one of them. They never left, never ever left. And my father-in-law never left through storms. He lived through Matthews and everything else. So that's personal preference, but for us, what we've made a decision on as a family, if it's a Cat 3 or stronger and it's headed our way, we just leave. Right at the end of the day, it's stuff. And there ain't nothing I'm going to do to hold it down, anyways. Right? Stacey is like, I'm not Solomon holding up the two pillars. Like, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, and you have to be prepared for the aftermath of it. Yeah. Like, just like our past, this past hurricane season, it wasn't just the storm blew in and the next day it was over. Yep. I mean, people went, days and weeks without electricity, and grocery stores around them weren't open because no one had electricity. So, I mean, you have nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing there.
It was wild. It was wild to say the least. All right, let's get over there. We got an Instagram comment here, Stacey. Let me just double check. Make sure we don't have anybody hanging out here. But we got Manny says, what's up, gang? Looking to move to Tampa in about 2 to 3 years. What do you think the market will look like? Currently live in Long Island, retired law enforcement. Well, shout out to you. Thank you for your service. Appreciate that, Manny. Love that. 2 to 3 years is a long way away. There's a lot of things can go in between there. I always go to this quote, and I'm sure people are tired of hearing it, but whoever lives by the crystal ball is destined to eat glass. That's a Ray Dalio quote, and I love that. Here's what I know. I would bet on real estate during a 5-year period, at any 5-year period in history. Now, the only time that hasn't really worked out is during the great financial crisis that was caused by real estate. But outside of the last 100 years of data, you live in a house for 5 years, you're going to make money. So I don't have an answer to, what that's going to, I don't know where interest rates are going to be. I don't know what affordability is going to look like at that point. But if it just stays steady state and stable, I mean, I don't know. All I know is every year, the average first-time home buyer gets older. And the reason that happens is because it becomes more and more difficult. The median age of the first-time home buyer in the United States last year was 39 years old. And that's because of affordability. The average home buyer in the United States was 58 last year. All right. So if y'all are doing that at 30, shout out to you, because it is very difficult. And that's the best way I can sum that up. We'll all have to watch it together. What I would say is reach out, a year in advance and let us know. Second comment down here says, what's it? Boss Kazan 21 says, house gets listed on May 1st and then let the games begin. I love it. Yeah. Happy Tampa Tuesday to you as well. So shout out to our Instagram viewers over there. Love you guys. They're able to connect in here. The screen's so small. I'm always fascinated by people actually watching over there. Boscan says, hope to be down there a few days earlier in June to check out some spots. Awesome. Thanks, Juan. You're welcome, bud. You're welcome. Yeah. What's up, Nando? All right. My bad, Nando. I should have known. I don't have you saved for that reason. We'll get into there, but yeah. So let's get back into Stacy. I know you got some really cool stuff you want to share as well. Where do you want to take us tonight?
Yep. All right. Well, let's go to Wesley Chapel because I want to tell you about some great deals we have going on. Okay. I know that we're always talking about new construction and how, depending on the timing of it, we have quick move-ins that you can get some really great deals on. So I thought I would bring some of those tonight for you guys to take a look at. So in Wood Creek, which is in Wesley Chapel, over there off Highway 56. So it's in a really good school district, the Wiregrass Ranch School District, but they have 2 villas over there. So Kiara and Desiree, pay attention. These would be great deals for you. And I actually think Kiara looked at this floor plan, the Siesta.
Yep.
So they have 2 of them. So it's a 2-2 plus an office. So 2 bedroom, 2 bath with an office, 2-car garage. They have one listed at $354,990 and the other one's at $369,990.
Plus a den, huh? Nice.
Yeah, that's really nice. And they're offering $18,000 in concessions. So as an incentive, and you get a interest rate special. So for FHA or VA, as low as 4.99%. And conventional as low as 5.99%.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So really is there a closet off of that? So technically it could be a bedroom too?
Yeah, I think there was an office in that, or a closet in that office.
That's interesting.
Yeah. But it's really nice. And for a villa, it doesn't feel like a villa. Like it was very spacious.
Yeah, it's pretty large. I mean, 50, it's almost 1,600 square feet. So for a 2-bedroom villa, that's a really good size space, right? And you got the den on that as well. So, all right, it's red tag event. Good opportunity there. Okay, what else did you have, Stacy?
Yeah, and in that same community, there is a single family house, the Hemingway. So it's a bigger floor plan. It's a 5-bedroom, 3-bath. It has a flex space and a loft.
Ooh.
2-car garage. It's almost 3,000 square feet.
1,000 square feet. Yeah.
Yep. So they have this listed at $559,990. With the same interest rate special at 4.99% for VA in FHA and then 5.99% for conventional.
Wow.
But there's only 10K builder concessions on this one.
Okay. That's still pretty good. I mean, if we look at a mortgage calculator, right? Let's do that in real time. Pull this up with you guys. Just to kind of give everybody some, what was the price tag on that, Stacy?
The single family one was $559,990.
All right, so that's the purchase price. Let's just say for the sake of conversation, we put 10% down. And you guys can work that on your own, but let's see, put 10% down. Now, the today's rate,
It was like 6.85, wasn't it?
688 as of the finish today. We got some good movement on mortgage rates today, but that's today. Tomorrow could be back up. It's been volatile as all get out. But regardless of that, 6.88. So that would be like with great credit and 20% down. So let's just, for the sake of conversation, say 7% interest rate. Let's update. Stacy, do you happen to know the what the HOA are in there?
I do not off the top of my head. I don't think it was more than $100.
Yeah, I'd say they're usually around 100. Property taxes in Wesley Chapel over there are going to be approximately like 1.75% of your purchase price, give or take. So let's just call it 560 for the sake of conversation, times 1.75. That gets us to 9,800 annually on your property taxes. Divide that by 12. That puts us at 816 roughly a month for property taxes on that house. I know we're doing this in real time, so forgive us, y'all. Homeowners insurance, Stacy, what are we seeing over there? $1,200-$1,300 for properties like that? Somewhere between $1,200 and $1,500.
Yeah, I'm at $1,200 for that same square footage.
Okay. So let's call it 100. There'll be some sort of PMI. This will be nominal. I'll just put $50 in there if you're only going to do 10%. And this, we're going to run this scenario here. All right. Now here's why I want to run this. So that gets you at 10% down, which is 55 grand, at 40, like approximately 4,400 with taxes and insurance. This is the big thing to note. When you do a mortgage calculator online, they most always quote you just on principal and interest and never include the property taxes and insurance, which is super important to do. Okay. So if you guys are running scenarios for yourself, make sure that you put that in there. Now, why did I want
your mortgage calculator?
Oh my goodness. This guy right here. Sorry, y'all. Sorry, y'all. All right. Here's the scenario. 599, 559, 990, 10% down, 7% interest rate, 816 a month on taxes. That comes out to 9,800 annually, which is give or take. We're pretty close. Homeowners insurance at $1,200 annually. That's $100 a year. I know people think that you can't insure properties in Florida. That's just not true. Homes in Wesley Chapel, new construction, you can expect much lower insurance rates than by the coast where I live. $50 a month for private mortgage insurance if you don't put 20% down. If you put 20% down, that goes away. But in our scenario, we only did 10, remember? And then HOA fees at $100 a month. That got us to a payment of $44.19. Okay, I wanted to run this because what I wanted to do is I want everybody to see what happens when we insert a 4.99 or 4.95. What's the interest rate, Stacy?
4.99 for FHA VA.
Okay. Now we're going to rerun this. So we're at 44.19 once, and that's at 7%. Once we go to a 4.9, it went to 37.68.
Wow.
Y'all. It's like huge. $650.
Yeah.
A month. So that's a huge swing, So when you're looking, I know a lot of times people are looking at prices, but like most people, when you have a mortgage, most people buy based upon their monthly payment, not what the home price cost. And whenever somebody tells me that's not true, I say, okay, so I don't remember you offering $850,000 to the seller when we made an offer. And they're like, no, they were only asking $550. I'm like, yeah, but you have a 30-year fixed rate mortgage. Did we forget how much it really costs to own this thing at the end? So, and that's when everybody's like, oh yeah, you're right. I want to spend $3,000 a month or $4,000 a month max or whatever it is. And I shared this with you guys because this is the fastest way. anywhere in Tampa Bay for new construction, if you put in 1.75% of the purchase price for your annual tax bill, you're going to be pretty close. Okay. Typically, you'll be a little bit less than that. In some areas, you might just be a touch more, but you're going to be within spitting distance of the actual number. So that'll give you a lot of ways to kind of approach this and just be on top of it. And I know we got in the weeds here a little bit, but when we're talking about deals and why Stacy's bringing this to you, she just showed you the difference between it's a $650 a month swing on that payment, going from a 7% interest rate down to a 4.99. Tremendous savings. Okay. So Stacy, awesome job.
Yeah, and I love the location of that community. I know if you guys have been on here, I talk about River Landing, how much I love that community. It's right next to that. So you are kind of on the outskirts a little bit of Wesley Chapel, but you're 10 minutes to the shops at Wiregrass, the closest Publix, the schools. I mean, everything is just so close.
Yep. Right around the corner.
Yep.
Right around the corner, which is awesome. So love that. All right. I was showing the videos here. Where else we headed to, Stacey?
All right. So the next deal is in Parrish in North River Ranch. So Abby and Brian, listen up. I know it's not Lakewood Ranch, but it's in Parrish, and it's by Homes by West Bay. They have a great deal on a Biscayne 1 floor plan.
My favorite
it's
floor plan.
A 3-3, about 2,500 square feet. It's a 3-car garage. So they have it originally it was priced at $827,377, and they have it marked down to $674,990.
Wow.
It is ready now. And they are offering an additional $20K in seller concessions and giving you a 5.99% rate buy down.
Wow.
Crazy.
That is crazy. And we love Homes by West Bay. Y'all, we put a client in a Biscayne 2 right at the beginning of the year, which is a story and a half. It's the same model with a half-story option on it, which has an entertainment space, another full bath, a bedroom or a study upstairs, which is awesome, and a pool. And that thing was like 1.4 million. So that same property with the same type of finishes here. That's a really good deal, Stacy. Love the coffered ceilings here. I think that this is a really nice touch. They can also be in white. They'll paint them white as well, or paint them to match the paint color of the house. FYI, if you don't like those on top, but this is a really good opportunity for a great property here. Love the floor plans. Love the community as well. You're close enough to everything, but still far enough away to be comfortable if the storms get ripping around.
Yeah.
So,
a great
nice balance.
too. Yeah.
Really, really nice spot. So that's great. That's a great share, Stacy. Awesome. What else you got?
All right. So this is, I think, the biggest deal. I sent this out as the deal of the week.
Okay.
It is in Parrish as well. It's in Windwater, so it's by Mattamy Homes. And they have a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, about 2,600 square feet, a 3-car garage on an oversized lot. It's almost on an acre lot with a swimming pool.
What?
Yeah. This one fell out of contract.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's originally priced at $828,347. That's how much it went to contract for. But they are now trying to sell this for $699,347 with 6% seller concession plus 2.5% extra to buy down the rate. Are you kidding? Yeah, with a pool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where's the photos? I don't have photos.
You don't have photos of it?
No, where are they at? Maybe they're here. Oh, this is gonna make me nuts. Sorry. Anyways, keep talking about this.
And it's in a great location within the community. Now that community is still kind of surrounded by farmland. So when I drove by it, I could see back there, you can see some of that farmland. So you may want to, I mean, it'll be gorgeous once you landscape it back there and put up some privacy around that back line, but it's just a steal of a deal with a pool.
Yeah. This is the site map. So let me pull the,
look at that number 33.
Yeah, so you got a great lot too, because it's huge, because it opens up in the back there. Yep. And then there's just so it looks like wetlands and forest back there. And then another property a little bit further set back. But that's great.
It was just, I just couldn't believe it.
Wow. With a pool.
I know.
And a covered line. All the things, right?
Yeah, it's not going to last long because it's such a great deal. I mean, to find a brand new house with a pool under 700,000 is just, even under 800,000.
That's crazy. That is crazy. That's a big win. Shout out to Stacy for the deal of the week. Yeah. If you guys want in on our deals of the week, jump in and register on our website. If you have more questions and you want to talk to Stacy or myself or the team and just learn more about the area, I put our contact info down below. It's always in the link inside of the YouTube, the description. You guys can find it there, but it's just thattampalife.com/contact. And then that'll take you right to just a couple of questions. And then that'll actually take you to my calendar where you can schedule a time to do that. But when you jump in there, if you guys want to talk to Stacy specifically, just put in the notes, hey, I'd love to talk to Stacy. And then we'll set you up directly with her and you don't have to worry about that. But I love this. This is a great share, Stacy. Thank you for bringing the details. I love that. Let me get into some of these questions because there's a lot. You guys been filling up the chat while we're going crazy over here. So forgive me. I'm going to catch up the best that I can here. Love Seven Oaks, Pinellas County. Got that one. There we go. Shane says, my husband has been looking at the condos in the Bayshore area. Does that area get flooded? Bayshore Boulevard, Bayshore Beautiful. Is that what you're asking about, Jane? Right off of the road, it does, but the elevation on the property does not nearly as often. I haven't had anybody over there that's reported that, but it's low lying. You're right on the bay. So definitely, assume that if you're that close to water, guys, you can get wet. There's going to be some scenarios where, the elevation goes up really quickly. High Park is a great example of that. It will literally flood on Bayshore Boulevard and the houses that are right across the street don't get wet. So it's part of the challenge there.
But are they still in a flood zone
though? Some of them are AE, those types of things, but it depends on the property specifically. We have to look at the map to really know, because down there it is kind of hit and miss in terms of what you're looking at.
That's true.
Corey says, got it. That's one of the things I'm considering where I'm looking to live. I used to live in Tampa and loved it. So my plans are to head back sometime soon. Awesome. CK says, how often does a hurricane hit South Florida? I'm from Indiana. We don't get hit with hurricanes. Been people telling me in South Florida gets hit every year. When we first started to move, man, I went to all the insurance companies' websites and looked at their maps, and we did all of that stuff before we started making the move. And historically speaking, South Florida used to get hit a lot, quite frequent. Let me just repeat it, frequently. I don't know. We've seen some shifts. I don't play the weatherman, so it's always hard for me to do that. Dennis Phillips is the guy that we follow here locally, that we tell everybody to follow. But look at the insurance maps. If you type in hurricane and insurance maps, dude, it'll pop up and give you a lot of insights there. I think that'll be a very helpful tool for you, so you can kind of work your way through it. But I'll say this: out of the 22 million or 24 million people we have here, ain't nobody running out of here every time there's a storm. I know people leave, but we still. More come every year, which is wild to me. It's wild. All right. Jillian says, family of 6 hoping to relocate to Wesley Chapel from Kansas. Listing our home on May 1st. Thank you for all of your helpful videos. We need to schedule a Zoom call for you to help. Y'all, kids are excited. Well, we're excited for you. And the contact is down below. So feel free to jump in there, schedule a time that works best for you, Jillian. We're excited to serve your family too. So thank you for trusting us, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the other side of that. That's going to be great. All right. Kiara says, Stacy, this is for you. These are your people. I don't even know what I'm doing here.
Yes, that model felt a lot bigger than what it looks like on the outside. Yeah,
That makes sense.
definitely.
And she was referring to the Siesta
Yeah.
model, wasn't that? Was it
Yeah.
correct? Yeah, the Siesta floor plan for those of
the
you who,
villa.
yep, wondering what the heck we're talking about. And yeah, Kiara, no, she's like, yes, there is a den in there. Closet in the den. Heard. That's good for storage too. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. Corey H, CK, it's been a while since Tampa St. Pete took a direct hit, but they can count on indirect hits almost every year. Sometimes it's just wind and rain. Sometimes it's, yeah, basically that's my experience in the last seven hurricane seasons have been basically that. So that's great feedback there, Corey. Thanks for sharing. Gustavo, do you think that when foreclosures are finally allowed to fully hit the market that they might cause a crash? No, Gustavo, we showed the data on this. They're not holding back foreclosures right now. They were during COVID, but all of that has been set aside. The foreclosure process, they always have done mortgage modifications to help people stay in their home whenever they can. Whenever banks don't want houses, right? Banks want your money. So that's always the easiest way to look at it. They're not in the business of managing houses, selling houses. They don't want to be in that business. So if they can make a buck off of you getting out of it, they're going to do it. But yeah, that's not, I mean, guys, our unemployment rate here in Tampa is still super low. So we're not there. And we showed the data last week. I'll do that again at the end of the month. So you guys can see that once all the data comes in, you guys will be able to check that out. But it's a good question. There are foreclosures out there, but they're very rare. And you're in Tampa here, you're in the land of lots of cash. So, I always tell people, if it looks like a deal, there are, 100 other people ready to go with cash in their pocket that are thinking the same thing. So it's a little bit more difficult here than it was, say in the Midwest where we moved from, where, people were moving out of, not moving into. So good question. Everybody wants a deal, man. And Stacy just showed you one. So that's one way to do it. Right. That's one way to do it. But good question nonetheless. Second question. Do you have any idea of what the percentage of all new listings of sellers in the gold? No, I don't. We shared this stat too. Almost 40% of the United States does not have a mortgage on any property. So that's the first thing to kind of think through when you're thinking about stuff like this. What do I mean by that? 40% of all the homes in the United States don't have a mortgage on them. They're paid off in full. Okay, so there's only 60% left to that market. Out of that 60%, over 35% of them have mortgage rates of 3% or lower. That's golden handcuffs. That's what Gustavo was referring to. Okay, Gusto, sorry. That's what he's referring to. From 3 to 4%, it was like another 25%. And then from 4 to 5%, it was like 18%. So the amount of people with a 6% mortgage or higher is less than like 20% total. So that's, it's going to be hard to have an economic fallout when you can make your mortgage working at McDonald's. And that's the golden handcuffs that he's referring to. Great question though, man. Great question. All right. Danielle says, but they offered a lower interest rate. I thought 5%. I must have missed something. Sorry. I was moving quick there, Danielle. I didn't see what that was specifically to. Oh, dang off them is what she said. I'm sure she'll follow back up on that. My bad. I should have been. It's hard to do the chat and the screen at the same time. So we always try to do our best for you guys. All right. Janina says, how is Riverwood and that area? What's Riverwood, Stacy? Are you talking about Riverview?
No. Well, there's a new community by Pulte called Riverwood. It's in Zephyr Hills. Yeah. It's a beautiful community. There's just not a whole lot there right now. Yeah. And I'm not sure exactly how that's going to look yet. But I've had a couple clients go out there who loved it and didn't mind the location because you are closer to the interstate. So it could work. Sometimes you don't know till you see it.
Yep. Absolutely. I agree with that one. Good question, though. Love it. Love that you guys are down there. You know what's going on. Carol says, love Homes by West Bay. Big fan. So are we.
We all love it.
So are we. Kiara says, I need that Biscayne home for 4. Listen, if that Biscayne goes down to 400, I'm buying 3. I'll be leveraged to the hilt for that because the house is awesome. Brian says, love it, Stacy. Let's throw a pool party in that thing. Heck yeah. You brought a really good deal. Love that. All right, Stacy, Tim's got a question here.
Yeah, I like Mattamy Homes. I feel like they have a very nice quality build. I know about, like, I was told about that home that fell out of contract because I have other clients there who are building. So I was talking to the agent, and so they let me know that that happened and was a great deal. So yeah, Mattamy Homes is a good builder. I wouldn't recommend them if I wouldn't build with them myself. So
yeah, notice there are names we omit off the list.
Yeah.
It's the best way to put it, right? We don't want to listen. I'm sure a lot of people are wonderful at a lot of things, but we've had lots of experiences with people too. So we just omit that part of the conversation. You are free to look at anything you want. That's what we always tell people. But in terms of experience wise, we just don't promote people that we don't believe in. That's the best way to do it. Yeah. Awesome. Abby says that May 1st is they're going to list there also. So shout out to you, Nando. Abby's letting you know what they're working on too. Love that. Jane says, what do you guys recommend? What do you guys recommend? What property is best for Airbnb, condo, or single? Jane, I hate Airbnb right now. As an asset class. No, I want to share this, right? As an asset class, I really do not like Airbnb right now. I think it is a very speculative product. Now, that's an opinion from one man. Can you make money on it? Yes. Okay. However, here's what I don't love about it. Everyone is going after Airbnb, right? The last people who are defending that space right now is only the governor. All the counties have rules and regulations regarding them. Every city has rules and regulations regarding them. They're constantly being challenged by the residents and changed all the time. And it's becoming more and more difficult. Insurance in the state of Florida is already challenging. Unless you get a surefire home run, like a stilted home on the beach, I would find it very hard to invest in that asset specifically. I know too many people have tried to stretch there, and without good management and great marketing, it's hard to fill those properties. And again, it's the regulations, the insurance, all those other things that you're going to be challenged with all the time that makes me uncomfortable. Now, again, I'm not saying that you can't win with this. I just want to make sure that if someone's asking me about it, I'm giving them the pros and the cons. I know people who make 80 grand a year on their Airbnb. That is awesome. They love it. They do a great job. They've got kayaks and bikes and golf carts and everything you could ever ask for at their Airbnb. People, like, they love it. They return every single year because they get the most out of that. But then there's other Airbnbs that don't ever fill because they don't add the extra amenities and make people's life convenient. So I know I'm going tangent on this, but all I would say is just do your diligence when it comes to Airbnb specifically, because we're seeing more and more people challenge our ability to operate that as a investment freely. All right. Sorry for the tangent. Sorry for the tangent, but I just want to make sure that we have got it. Like we're thinking through everything that's going on. Keith says, good luck to you guys on the sale. Love that. And yeah, Hernando says, best of luck on Airbnb. It's a great question, Jane. And again, it's not like I would ever shut anything down. Just buyer beware at this point. Be very diligent before you walk into that, and make sure you got a great marketing team behind you and you can start to fill that up. There are people that are going to do really good with Airbnbs as long as they're legal. That's my biggest concern. So the way I look at it is if it won't make money as a long-term annual rental, then I would have to factor that in, right, on that side. So just FYI. Cool. Well, man, it's already 8:00. You guys had great questions as usual. Y'all, if you want to talk to us, do not hesitate to reach out. I'm not kidding. All right. So go to that tampalife.com. I'll put it back in the chat again. Schedule a Zoom call. If you want to talk to Stacy because you don't like this guy, that's okay. Team Stacy, I heard you loud and clear earlier. When you log in there, just put, hey, I want to talk to Stacy. We don't need Juan. He's in the way. Just give me to Stacy. We know who we want to talk to, and I'd be happy to make that connection for you.
I'll be happy to put you on my calendar.
That's right. And Stacy would be happy to serve. And y'all, like I said, we have blessed. I will say this, like you know, I'm continually amazed. Like Stacy and I just talked about this the other day. Stacy is ahead of last year in terms of helping families. The amount of families she's already helped in Q1, and y'all got her calendar already filled up for Q2. So thank you for that. We appreciate you guys and love all the time that we get to spend with you guys. I mean, look at this. All right. Hi, all. First time live. Yuppie, it's 2 a.m. over here in Germany. Thanks for the news. CK, you are welcome. And shout out to Across the Pond. Right. So that's fantastic, man. Love it. All right. Good night, y'all. You guys have a great evening. As always, Stacy, we say what?
Go out and live that Tampa